All right, guys, today we're going to take a look at drawing the angles. So we know how to read a protractor. You've practiced with measuring angles. So today we're going to focus in on drawing an angle. So quick kind of recap of your protractor. So remember, I refer to this middle section here as your sun. Okay, and we always put the vertex right here where my X is on my screen, right at the bottom of the sun. And one of the sides of my angle are going to go along the horizon, the zero line here at the bottom. Remember that there is extra space at the bottom of your protractor, so be careful with that. It can trick you up when you are drawing angles. So kind of following the instructions up here, to use the protractor to draw an angle, the first thing we're going to do is use our protractor as a straight edge. We learned earlier this year, yes, this can measure angles, but anything with a flat surface, flat edge, we can use as a straight edge. So the first thing you're going to do is draw a ray from the center of the protractor. So again, I'm going to be looking at the first one here, drawing an angle for 124 degrees. Okay, so quick tip, when I'm doing that, just kind of again, you're looking at drawing angles. You may not necessarily know the outcome just yet, but a good rule of thumb is if I can fit my protractor in the space, my angle will be in that space. What you don't want to do is start and say, okay, I want to draw my line right here. But look how I'm overlapping directions, I'm overlapping the problem. So a good rule of thumb is if you can fit your protractor in a space, your angle is also going to fit in that space. All right, so the first thing you're going to do, again, using that protractor as a straight edge, draw a ray from the center of the protractor out to one of these sides. I happen to be a righty, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my line. Again, I'm pretending like I'm using my protractor as a straight edge and drawing a straight ray out to the right. You may choose to do it to the left. Totally doesn't matter, whichever way. All right, so that's step one. Now, step two is that you're going to recenter your protractor. Again, I use this as a straight edge. Now I'm going to use it to actually measure and draw my angle. So again, when we looked at reading our measurements here, this is our vertex, right? This is our point at the end where our angle kind of forms. So that needs to be right directly in the bottom of my sun. So again, I just drew my angle or my ray. Now I'm going to readjust my protractor and bring it on down so that pink dot, my vertex, is directly on that X at the bottom of my sun, and making sure now that that line that I drew is right along flush parallel with my horizon, that bottom line there. So that's extremely critical. If you just draw your line and you start measuring, you're going to be off because you need to account for this kind of dead space at the bottom of your protractor. All right, so once you have that done, now again, remember, just like how you read the protractor, we follow our ray out to the end. We always start at 0 to count or to read it. So we're going to start, again, I'm going for 124. So I'm going to get 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, clear up to, here's 110, 120, 125 is about right here. So 124 is one shy of that. And you just kind of want to put your pencil, make a little mark on where that would be outside your protractor. Step 3 says, hey, use that protractor as a straight edge again to connect the point with the ray. So again, this also measures, but is a great straight edge to make sure that you are making nice straight lines. So probably easier on paper than on this computer. But again, you kind of line it up so that you can make draw your ray. Now yours is probably going to be a little bit more accurate than mine since you're on paper. But hopefully you see the point. So this would be a measurement or an angle of 124 degrees. All right, let's try another one, 32 degrees. And again, I'm sorry if I didn't mention this. We are on page 9 of your work packet. So you could by all means follow along, make sure yours visually are looking like the ones I'm doing together here on the screen. All right, so 32 degrees. Again, using my protractor first as a straight edge. I'm going to get it flipped up again here. And I'm just going to use it. I'm going to draw my line. Again, once you draw your line, don't start measuring. We have to readjust. So I need to bring my protractor down to make sure the end of my ray is right here at the X of the bottom of the sun, and that my line is flush with the bottom horizon here and works its way out. Now again, my ray happens to go to the right, So I'm going to be reading the inside measurements there. And again, I'm looking for 32 degrees. So 0, 10, 20, here's 30, 2 past it. Again, you're just going to make a little dot right outside of your protractor there. And then the last step is kind of use that protractor again as the straight edge and connect my dots, or connect my my vertex with the other point that I have. So this would be an example of a 32-degree angle. All right, so 65 is here kind of squeezed into the bottom. I'm actually going to go ahead and I can't get it to, there we go. 65 degrees. Oh, I just undid it. Let me get myself parallel, or back in order here. All right, there we go. So 65 degrees. This time I'm going to show you an angle, and again, I'm going to move it over here using that rule of thumb of like, hey, if I can fit my protractor, I can draw an angle there, okay? I couldn't do it right here because, again, you see how it overlaps my other angle? Not a good choice. So just pick a space. If it's confusing which goes to which, you can draw yourself an arrow, circle them in the same kind of grouping, but I'm going to draw my 65-degree angle out here to the right. Okay, so the first step, draw your ray. This time I'm going to actually draw it the other way, just for you lefties out there that maybe would be more inclined to draw it to the left. Either way is fine. Then once you have that, you're going to reposition your protractor, making sure your vertex is right on the bottom of your sun. Ray is going out along the horizon. Now again, if I'm going to the left, I always start at 0. This time I'm going to be using my outside band of numbers. So I'm moving my way up to 65, directly in between 60 and 70. Make yourself a dot. And last but not least, use your protractor here to draw yourself your other side of your angle. And again, I really do want you to use your protractor as a straight edge because it is important that we're drawing straight lines, and you've got a tool to do it. All right, so there are 2 you tries in there. Again, I'm just looking at them as examples that we can do together. If you feel comfortable, you can by all means stop watching the video. If you want to see me do 2 more examples or practice just to make sure that you are able to do this, keep with us. We're going to do these last 2 together. Your assignment for drawing angles, if you look on the back side of your packet, page 10, there are 8 problems for you to use your protractor and measure. Now, if you guys don't have a packet yet, there's very few of you that don't, but you know who you are if you do not. There are packets available to pick up in the office. Just please message me. Get yourself a packet. Otherwise, it is very hard to do some of these assignments. Again, I have the picture up there. You can surely try your best to, draw the angles. I'm not sure if you have a protractor at home. But again, if you need a paper packet, come on up to the school, grab one, get a hold of me. But again, most of you have the paper packet. So page 10 is where your assignment is. There's 8 problems for you to draw your angles and then submit it via picture. All right, so those last 2 examples, if you're still watching and if you still need some more practice. So 101 degrees. I can fit my protractor here, so I am good to start. I'm going to draw a ray, or one side of my angle. Then you're going to readjust your protractor, move it on down so that my vertex is right on the sun, and my line is going out on the horizon. Moving out to the right, that's the way my arrow is going. I'm going to start at 0, and my angle measurement there is 101. So I'm going to work my way up. Here's 90, here's 100. 101 is just 1 past that, so it would be right here. And again, make a dot. Use your protractor to connect it. So I'm going to go to the edge of my line. Try to be very, again, I'm trying my best here on the computer. Try not to be very precise on where you're putting your protractor so that you can neatly connect your line and your dot there. But in the end, your line should touch and all that kind of good stuff. So this is 101 degrees. All right, last one here, 34 degrees. So same operation. I'm going to first draw myself one side of my ray. I'm going to choose to draw this one to the left for the lefties out there. Again, either way is totally acceptable. So draw your ray. Adjust your protractor. Vertex under the sun, ray out to the horizon. This time I'm using the outer numbers, working my way up to 34. Here's 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, right about there. And then last step, maneuver your protractor around to connect the dot with your okay, I don't know why it won't let me connect it there. Here we go. I guess my protractor should have been right up there. So again, you can use it as a straight edge. So that would be an example of a 34-degree angle. All right, so again, you're going to complete problems 11 to 18 for a grade. This is on the back side on page 10. When you're finished, submit a picture. If you need any help, reach out.